Salve, this is Jeff. It's a devlog for the house. Streams along with them. Welcome. Hope you'll learn something practical about Unreal Engine development using blueprints, which is what this game is all about. Also puzzles. In the demo for the game, there are 3 puzzles available: guest bedroom, living room, and the garage. But I also made a special press demo, which includes the master bedroom. And in the master bedroom, there is featured some spiders. So let's make an Arachnophobia mode. I believe that Arachnophobia modes are useful. I fortunately do not have a fear of spiders. I find this very comforting, considering it's such a mainstay of video games. This is consequently why I do not put cockroaches in my games. We have a mode here in the settings, gameplay, which can change the amount of spiders. Default is normal. We can add no spiders. I suppose we can subtract all spiders to get no spiders. And we can get extra amount of spiders. Because I think that an Arachnophobia mode that doesn't offer options in both directions is cowardly. It's an example here. We have a wonderful empty room. Changing the settings, you might imagine, to extra. This includes a bunch of little guys here. Technically, I think those are tarantulas, but yeah, the spirit is still there. But if we want these guys to disappear completely, simply go back to either normal or no spider mode. Zoom in on a particular blueprint for one of the enemies, one of which is just hanging out over here. They added a few specific features to these enemies in order to filter them, so to speak. On the left here in the variables, they've added a byte, which is, in this case, just a simple number, an integer. Not technically an int, it's a byte, but you understand what I mean. Which is the minimum Arachnophobia mode. I have defined in the game here an enumeration, which has 3 options here. An enumeration is a data type that essentially means that you can have localized text that can be attached to integers like a 0, 1, 2, almost like an array with specific names, which is very useful for making lists of things, and especially for options, which is being drawn from the localization table. Search, I can spell correctly, extra amount. We can see that we have the loc key for enums. This particular enums here. This is where this is the table with which these things are referencing in order to get the localized values here. We load into the settings menu here, which is a widget blueprint, which has all of the in this particular case, the gameplay setting options. We can see that the Arachnophobia mode settings entry combo box, which I've made here, is taking the value of the user settings, Arachnophobia mode value, which is an enum, as mentioned before. The byte of that gets converted into an integer and then populated into the field of one of the 3 options that is available here. This logic here also controls saving the option, and then the option is saved into the user settings, which is itself a enhanced input user settings object, which I can pull up over here, where some of these individual variables are stored. This is also where the event/function logic for changing the Arachnophobia mode in the settings itself is set. This is what the UI widget is pulling its information from, and then also, if we go back to our spider, in the function called should enemy spawn, which at this in this particular version of the spider here is only being affected by the minimum Arachnophobia mode. It's comparing the current value of the Arachnophobia mode, 0 being none, 1 being normal, 2 being more, and comparing it to the value that we've set on this particular enemy, and then it's checking should it or should it not be spawning. This is just giving back a Boolean, a yes or no, essentially. So if we go to the part of the blueprint where this is actually being checked, it's an event that I made called check Arachnophobia mode. It asks the simple question, should the enemy spawn? And then true or false, it goes through all of the business of enabling or disabling the logic. It turns off its brain in the AI sense, resets its health, turns off the collision, these kinds of things. Makes it invisible. Obviously, an important part for the Arachnophobia mode to be effective is for them to not be there visually for folks that do not wish to see them. Let's check the references to see where this check is being called when the dungeon player is possessed. So the first time that you pick up the controller in the game, and then start the game in the game, and we'll check for that. We also have it on the pause menu toggling. When the pause menu is toggled off, I am getting this from by binding it in the begin play event. If we go all the way back to the top of our blueprint for the enemy here, one of the things that I'm doing is binding events to my player controller, and one of the things that the player controller is doing, one of the event dispatchers rather that the player controller is sending out, is when the pause menu is turned on, when it's turned off, and I can use that to listen for it here in the enemy. When it is toggled off, it goes over here to check the Arachnophobia mode. It asks the question, as mentioned before, little boolean, true or false, should it spawn? Goes through the logic here. In the design side of things, in the actual level, this particular lad here, if we go in the bottom right panel over here, we can see the minimum Arachnophobia mode has been, although it is defaulted to 1, just for the class itself, it's overridden to 2, which means that this particular lad will only appear when there are extra spiders. Quick little part 2 of this particular devlog is how I constructed the press exclusive version of the demo that I'm using for my game. The demo version of the game, which includes the mansion exterior map, which we're currently looking at here in all of its unlit glory. Here we go. There we go. Now we got trees. We've got trees and screen tearing. Beautiful. It's hot here, and I don't want my GPU/heater to melt me. So let us leave the lighting off for now. In the demo version of the game, which uses the same assets and the same save files as the full version of the game, the limitations are controlled by a custom blueprint that I made here called demo version logic, which we can pull up here on the begin play event, which is to say that when the level is first loaded, first thing it does is get the current player. This is the character / pawn that we're actually moving around the world. And one of the event dispatchers that I have on the player is an on all loading completed event, which I use everywhere. Is the player character the best place to put that? Maybe, maybe not. But it is where it is for this game, and it works well enough. It working at all is sometimes all you need in developing a game. Once the loading is completed, we're checking the player controller specifically if the demo version is active. It's where just the boolean for that is just living there. And then we have specific demo initialization here. Take a list of actors that has been given here in an actors array that are scattered throughout the map here. Let's say we can, if we zoom in on one here, the open level trigger. This is the level trigger that will go into the music room, and in order for you not to be able to go into the music room puzzle in the demo, this is basically removed by the demo logic. And by removed, I mean that the collision for it is disabled. The public demo does not include the spider zone we saw earlier. There is a separate logic here that I have for press demo that has slightly different subset of things that are being hidden. It's looking for tags in order to hide some of them. So in a wonderful notepad here, the array for the demo, which is the public demo, and then the array of maps for the press demo is just, I can copy and paste it here. So if we did a right click and then paste in here to the list of maps and include in the package build, includes all of these here. Thus, when the game is packaged, which I'm not going to do right now, it will only include those maps. So it's not, you don't get the full 10 plus gigabytes of the entire game. It's just the relevant maps. Actually, if you do end up accidentally loading into some place that's not available in the demo, it'll just reset you to the title screen, which is perfectly fine for my purposes here. This is a little bit more minutia for those curious. If you've made it this far in the video, congratulations. Enjoy the minutia. It's the specific loc keys that I need to change, which includes this little guy here. The text on the demo can actually update to another one, something like this. So it'll change to the house streams along with Impress demo. The less than, BR, or greater than is a little tagging system I'm using so that these text strings are being taken into the game, and it's looking for this and then replacing it with a line break. This way I can have line breaks and localization table without actually having the line breaks in the table, which would put them on a new line, hence line break. And the break, it goes to the next line. This is the widget blueprint for the title screen, and then for the press specific version, we switch this particular loc key over to this one here, which I can copy and paste for ease. We switch this over to the press demo text line. It switches it over to press demo version. Be more than happy to explain why there's so many steps to just add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra characters to this one line here. That mostly has to do with future-proofing the game for localization. That is it for this particular devlog. I do plan on doing more of these. I would like to focus on a little bit more of the nitty-gritty of a solo developer working in Unreal, just trying to figure stuff out. Hopefully some of these things, you see them, you think, oh, I could do that, and you'd be inspired. If not, you see it and you think, oh, I didn't know I could do it that way. I'll try and do it that way. And also the third point of inspiration, spite, which is you see something I do and you're like, that's completely wrong. It can be done so much better. And then you do that. That's also a positive outcome, or at least one I'm going to spin. So if any of those are you, then best of luck in the future making your own video games.